Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Today is going to be more wonderful than yesterday, I believe. We have Netherlands versus Japan. I think this match is going to be very tactical, more than yesterday. That's my belief, especially because the Netherlands is a nation of soccer, a nation that understands the game, a nation that breeds and leads the game. And you're probably wondering why I'm giving lots of praises to the Netherlands. Well, the reason is because the Netherlands, there's a man in Netherlands that I so much respect. He's not living anymore. He's dead now. But he was a man that revolutionized soccer. He was a mentor to lots of legends of the game, lots of people. He was a mentor to them. So he's someone that I so much respect. His name is Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff was the person who revolutionized soccer. He introduced position of play, the way that players can play out from the back. So basically, for me, he was responsible for a lot of changes that we have in soccer today. So because of that, so much respected. A lot. The game has begun. Japan versus Netherlands. Japan also, I believe, is they're a nation of soccer too. They're very hardworking. There's one thing I know about them, and they're very clean. I remember in was it the last World Cup? Anytime Japan was to play, and after the game, the the Japanese fans they'll make sure they clean up all the dirty things they were responsible for that was on the floor. They'll make sure they clean everything up before they leave, which was wonderful. And now you have the Netherlands. Hot. I believe this game is going to be very competitive. Obviously, that's a pull from Van der Ven. Van der Ven plays for Tottenham in England. And obviously, they escaped relegation. It was a narrow escape from them for them. They narrowly escaped relegation. It was interesting how they had to fight to make sure that they stayed in the Premier League. So the Netherlands are playing 4-3-3. And concerning what you can see on the screen, I just fixed. I'm trying to use automatic updates for the match stats and the goals and everything. So just waiting for it to update. Then we'll take it from there. That was a good. That was a good shot. Hot pot. Here's the thing that Japan has to be very careful with today. You can't let Cody Hackpo to cut him. Then you have Dolin Malin, who plays for Palmer. Dolin Malin on the floor. And then the Netherlands, this is Van Hacke. Van Hacke plays for Brighton of Albion in England. And obviously, there's a recent news that we're here in the Netherlands. Oh no, the play. That's exactly what I expect from them. Quick movement of the ball. That's what we know the Netherlands for. And that's Ronald Koeman, the coach of the Netherlands and the Barcelona legend. He was a defender for Barcelona for many years. Ronald Koeman. Japan. And now, one thing about Japan is this: they're very fast and they try to move the ball quickly. And of course, most of those players have low center of gravity. And when you have low center of gravity, you're able to move around quickly. When you are hard to pin down. And as you can see from Van der Ven had to commit the foul because that guy was very fast. It was too fast for him. Even though Van der Ven himself is one of the fastest players in the game. That tells you how important center of gravity is in soccer. And that is Edwin van der Sar, is the coach. Sorry, that's the former keeper of Manchester United and the former CEO of Ajax Amsterdam in the Netherlands. He was a Champions League winner for Manchester United, and I think he was also a Champions League winner for Ajax. And there you can see the Netherlands, they're playing 4-5-1 in defense. That is their out of possession formation. And I understand why they do that. When you have Ronald Koeman, who was a good defender as their coach, you would expect that would be very solid at the back. I'm just trying to fix the features here. The game is still very much 50-50. Please bear with me. I'm trying to update the match panel here. The Netherlands are basically trying to pin the Japanese into their own box, but we have to see how long that's going to work. Because I know the Japanese themselves, they don't sit back. They try to go all out and try and attack too. The Japanese is a footballing nation. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm just trying to fix some things here. Have a cross from Japan. It's going to be very hard for Japanese to score through a direct corner. Obviously, because they're not tall players. They don't have tall players. Then on the other side, you have the Netherlands, who are known for being tall people. Oh, that was close. I tell you what the Japanese tried to do there? They knew it's practically impossible for them to score a goal by a direct cross to the head of their player because of their height. So the best thing they think they should do, which they almost did probably, was to put in a low cross. And that almost worked. It almost worked. It's going to be an interesting game, honestly, but I'm still rooting for the Netherlands to perform better than this one. And you never know. Just like I thought Brazil was going to defeat Morocco yesterday, but Morocco, you know, was not going to let Brazil bully them. It was good to see. You should never let yourself be bullied. You should always stand your ground, especially when it comes to the game of soccer. As I'm talking to you, I'm trying to figure out the script of my live updates. You can see right now that the match stats is not showing anything, and the other things that I set up, thinking it was gonna just start updating automatically when the game starts, is not working now. So I'm trying to see how I can fix them on the go while I'm talking to you. But whichever way, we're gonna have a good time today, I believe. Then you have Havrabech. Havrabech plays for Liverpool in England. Hakpo. This is one thing that Hakpo can do. Donny Mullen. Remember when Donny Mullen was in Aston Villa? Unai Emery, the coach of Aston Villa, brought him to Aston Villa on a loan deal. And it was after that he went to Parma in Italy. And I think he's currently in Parma right now in Italy. Akpo. That's a good ball by Akpo. It was intercepted. Cody Akpo. I wanted him at my club, but we couldn't get him. I would refuse to get him because it was kind of dramatic. The situation was dramatic. At that time, Eric Ten Hag was the coach of Manchester United, and all the fans of Manchester United probably thought that Cody Hakpo was going to end up as a Manchester United player. And he himself probably thought the same. But according to the story, when he was at the airport, he got a call from the coach of the Netherlands at that time. I think his name was Luis van Gaal. Luis van Gaal told him to stay away from Manchester United and to go to Liverpool. And because of that, he changed his mind at the airport, I think. And later on, he ended up as a Liverpool player. And as you can see, he's been having a good time ever since. And you know what? I can't blame him for making that decision. And I cannot blame Lewis Van Gaal for telling him to do that. It's been a game, a little bit of aggressiveness. Both teams are willing to go head to head. None of them is willing to sit back. And it's time for hydration break. It's time for them to get something to drink, which is good for them. It's very hot. I don't know where you're watching us from, but certainly where I am currently is very hot here. We've been having lots of hot weather this past few days, and even though some days we had a cool weather as well, so it was not only just warm weather. And so there is hydration break now. It's good to drink water, especially in this hot season. And I think when was the first time that I started doing this hydration break? Because I remember there was nothing like this many years ago. Players just had to play through the game, regardless of how thirsty they were. I guess today there's lots of more precautions that doctors and the leading people, the association in soccer, they're trying to be very careful these days. They're trying to be more cautious, um, more organized, if that's the right word, in keeping the players healthy and safe, especially when we've seen lots of collapse on the field this in recent years. The Netherlands team lines up in 4-3-3. You have Cody Hakpo on the right, and then you have Donny Malen. You have Verbruggen as a goalkeeper. I guess I just have to refresh again because I remember what happened yesterday. I thought the hydration break was taking longer because the hands. I'm gonna do that again because nothing is happening on my screen now. Yeah, yeah, you have it. I don't know why TSN is doing this, honestly. This is not impressive. This is not impressive. I'm sorry, but this is not impressive at all. It's not impressive because you have that was what happened yesterday. I thought nothing was happening. Whereas TSN just kept me locked on looking at the hands. Oh no, I've not had a good experience with TSN since the beginning of this tournament. This is the first time that I have been, you know, I have watched a major tournament with an American or Canadian soccer channel. I've always been watching my soccer from, broadcasters in Europe, and I've never had a bad experience. And this is my first time going along with our American broadcasters. It's good to support locals. I mean, North America. So I have to support. That's a good cross. Frankie de Jong, Van Hecke, Somerville. Somerville plays for West Ham United in England. But unfortunately for Somerville, West Ham United was relegated from the Premier League. Before he came to West Ham, he was a player for Leeds United in England as well. Dumfries, Marlin, Marlin, this is the ball. And now this is Marlin. That's a good tackle by Tiny Chu, the Japanese defender. Oh no, that that could have been a costly mistake from the defensive midfielder of the Japanese. Now you have the corner kick. This is one of the. I do believe that the Netherlands could score a corner kick today because they have tall players. You have Virgil van Dijk, Van Hecke, even tall strikers. Yeah, I said it. It was close. It was close. Another cross in the game. Yeah, the Japanese has to be very careful. That's a good goalkeeping from Suzuki. Suzuki plays in Italy. I think he came from a club in Japan. I remember when we were looking for a goalkeeper in those days, we actually looked at him, Suzuki. And I remember that they called him the baby Onana. Onana was the former keeper of Manchester United. And we were looking for a goalkeeper that could play with the ball on their feet. And this guy was the perfect match as a replacement or a substitute for Onana. Because the reason why we got Onana was because Onana could play with his feet. And I know that the Netherlands and Johan Cruyff the man I told you about that made me love soccer from the Netherlands. His name is Johan Cruyff. It was the one who introduced or propagated the use of goalkeeper playing with their feet. Normally, the main job of the goalkeeper is to use their hands to keep the ball out of the goal. That's a chance. Oh no, this might be the downfall of Japan. The Japanese are too short. And then you have the Netherlands players that are so tall that every cross into the box creates a problem for the Japanese. And no matter how good you are with your feet, if you cannot compete in here when you jump, you're gonna have serious problems. And that's why every cross into the box is a problem for the Japanese. I'm sorry, I don't have. I'm still trying to figure. My script is not updated. So you don't have you can't see all the live updates. I'll get that fixed before the next broadcast. You have a throw by Van der Ven, one of the fastest players in soccer. Van der Ven is faster than most players in soccer. I remember when he scored a goal in the Premier League, he carried the ball from his own goal, from his defense, and drove with the ball through the midfield of the opponent. And I think he scored. That was ridiculous. It was extraordinary on the part of Van der Ven, but it was ridiculous on the part of the opponent. And now you can see the Netherlands, they're playing with, that's a good ball from Van Dijk, Somerville. Somerville has the fast feet. That's like a good cross. Oh no. Somerville has a very fast feet. And I think that's why Ronnie Coleman chose him. Basically, you have the Netherlands are building up with two center backs now. Now you have basically three center backs. You have Van der Ven, you have Virgil van Dijk, and Van Heck. But obviously, if you look at the lineup, Van der Ven plays like a left back. Well, he's not really a left back, but he's a center back. He's a center back, but he has all the attributes of a left back. The reason is because for you to be a good left back, you have to be able to defend. You also have to be able to run. And Van der Ven has all those attributes. So he could play as a left back, and I think that's why Coleman chose it. He could play as a left back, and he could play as a center back. And if you can see how the Netherlands are building up, they have two stable center backs, which is Van Dijk and Van Heck. And depending on the side that they want to progress the ball through, if they're progressing the ball through the left, then you have Van der Ven as a left back coming to assist the two center backs to project the ball up the field. And if they're trying to project the ball through the right side of the field, Dumfries is going to come and join the two center backs. Dumfries is the right back to help project the ball up the field. So it's a very smart tactics. A common tactics, though, which is a smart one. You can see the Netherlands, they're moving the ball. They're probing the defense of the Japanese as they should. Tackle. And have the ball back to the captain, Van der Veen, Van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk. Kravrabec. Kravrabec was an highest player, highest upstander. That was where Liverpool, and there's an interception from Japan. And now the Japanese can move forward. Tell you what, the Japanese are fast. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, the Japanese tried to play on the counter attack because obviously, if you've been pinned to your house for a good chunk of the game, then you have to rely, any opportunity you have to rely on the counter attack. And that was what it tried to do. But the Netherlands was not having it. So they're going to be a good day. Still 0-0. It's the first minute of the game. Now the Japanese, you can see they are structured very clearly now. Yeah. They have to work really hard to break down the Netherlands. The Netherlands are playing with 4-5-1. You can't break 5-4-1. Sorry. It's going to be very difficult for you to break that down. Yeah. It's going to be very difficult to break that down. 5-4-1. Sorry. Oh no, the Japanese found a way and didn't do it. Oh no, they can. Oh no, that was close. That was close. That was close. It was a cross into the box. And Somerville did not do himself well, did not do himself proud. He allowed the ball to bounce off him. And oh no. Oh, there's not really much Somerville could do there, let's be honest. the ball was coming, it was way high up. So he tried to jump, but he just couldn't intercept the ball. So there's not really he could do anyway. The Japanese just played a good game in that time. And the Japanese again trying to break down the mid block of the Dutch. Oh, good interception by Frankie de Jong. That's one of the good attributes that Frankie de Jong has. And that's why Barcelona snapped him up. They took him from Ajax, which was good for him. Which is good for his career to today. Oh no, the Japanese just showed us that they could play a long range shot. Oh my word, that was good. That was extraordinary. That was a direct pass from the midfield. Wow, that was a true pass. A true pass that splits the defense of the Netherlands into two. I think the Japanese know exactly what to do. And we can see they're trying to make it effective. I think this game is going to be 1-0. And it's going to be the Netherlands. The Japanese will put lots of pressure on the Netherlands, but that would not be enough. You have 3 minutes at a time. Somerville on the floor. This this referee is an African referee. I remember, I think he officiated, was in the Champions League or was in the last World Cup. Dodi Malen. The cross into the box was intercepted by the Japanese defense. Somerville. Akpo. The Japanese are standing strong. They're never going to give up. It's a clever one. It's a corner kick to the Dutch. And it's a corner kick. This could be a goal. It's a corner kick. The Dutch are dangerous with corner kicks. And this is probably the last action of the first half. So there's probably nervousness now. Yeah, there was a contact with the ball, but the power was not enough to beat the goalkeeper. And that's the end of the first half. Netherlands 0, Japan 0. I'm gonna make sure that I fix all the statistics on the screen just to make sure that the one I had yesterday was kind of arranged, you know, was haphazard. So I didn't like how it looked. So I tried to go for the automatic update. I thought it was gonna work once the game starts. But obviously it's not working now. But I'm trying to fix it as I'm talking to you. So if I can fix it before the game, that's good. Before the end of the game, that's good. But if I can't, I will try and fix it before the next one. Okay, let's see. Obviously, it's been a game of. It's been a game. I'm not sure if it's been a game it's been a game I expected. Let's be honest. I knew the I knew it was going to be tactical between both teams because the Netherlands they like to play with lots of tactics. They are a tactical nation. They understand the game, and the Japanese as well. They understand the game. I knew it was going to be very competitive. Now, let me know your predictions. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Do you think the Netherlands are going to win, or do you think the Japanese are going to win? I still think the Netherlands are going to win, even though my predictions are not always correct. I I predicted that Mexico was going to beat South Africa, but the exact prediction I said was wrong. I said the difference between the goals was going to be a single goal, but I was wrong. Even though Mexico won, I got that, but I was wrong about the score line. Still 0-0. Where are you watching from? Which part of the world are you watching from? Please, if you're watching right now, you can just put it in the comment section. And I'm sorry, I can't see your comments right now because I'm still trying to get all this things set up. So, but next time, we're going to have all this figured out game to game. I'm pretty new to this, so I'm trying to learn on the go because the World Cup is a huge opportunity that comes every 4 years or so. So we don't want to miss it. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? Do you think the United States has a chance? No. Well, the last World Cup, the United States surprised lots of people. Let's be honest. They surprised lots of people. And now they have a good coach again. So I don't think they're going to win the World Cup. They might go far, but they cannot. I don't think they're going to win the World Cup. No. And you can see that there's been constant development in the game. They're developing, of course, which is a good sign. You know, that's what you want. That's what you want. I don't think the United States has lots of soccer academy. I don't think so. And obviously, you need that to create a footballing nation or a soccer nation because the academy is where the young players come from. For you to be able to build a nation of soccer, you have to have a good academy where players can go through the ranks. You can have players as early as 8 years old, 7 years old in those academies. Then you can develop them. You can teach them how to play. You can try, they can graduate to the youth teams, and from the youth teams they move to the men's team, to the adult teams, and that's how you build a soccer nation. That's how it is in Europe, and obviously that's something that here in North America we have to you know, try to copy and do it as well because it works. It works when you have good academy. You have good players coming through the academy, and that's what you want. And now you can see that Frankie De Jong has been extraordinary in this game. Frankie De Jong, I like the player. He's had lots of injuries in his career, but he's never allowed those injuries to pin him down and hold his career down. He's always tried to come back each time he has injuries, which is good. You never want any circumstances in life to pull you down. And sorry, to pin you down. Challenges are always going to come in life. There is no human being in this life, in this world. There is no human being who has lived in the past, who is living currently, and who is going to come in the future, who is never going to have a challenge. Everybody is going to have challenges. So it's not just about a challenge that you have, it's about how you respond to those challenges. So Frankie de Jong has had lots of challenges in his life in terms of injury, and he's certainly not the only player who has gone through that and who is going through that currently. But there's one thing he has always done. He never allowed those circumstances to pin him down. Those things can pull him down, but he never allowed them to pin him down. And that's how we should all see life. No matter what you do, in your job, in the office, in your business, in your families, you should never allow the circumstances of life to pin you down. Those things can pull you down. Challenges of life can pull anybody down. But don't allow them to pin you down. Try to stand up. And now we're getting ready for the second half. The players are coming back to the field. They're coming back and we're getting ready for the second half now. You can see now and here we go again. This is the start of the second half. And you have a long ball from Suzuki. Yeah, it's impossible for you Japanese to compete physically with the Netherlands. As you can see from there, that player couldn't handle Van Eyck because it was too strong for him. And that's the true ball to Dolly Malen. Dolly Malen, what can he do? Oh no, that was a good defender from the Japanese. But that tells you exactly what the Netherlands could do. And now the Netherlands are still trying to get away past the defense of the Japanese. Van Eyck, true pass. Avrabic. The Netherlands have the ball again. Somerville. That's a good ball. Marlin. Oh, that's a good interception. The Japanese are very good in carrying the ball. That's one thing I noticed about them. They can carry the ball through far distance. But that tactics cannot help you throughout the game because you're going to get tired. If all the players, the Japanese players, if all they do is carry the ball and move fast with the ball every time, you're going to get tired. You can't play it that way for 90 minutes. Oh, that's a good ball. In the box. Oh, no. Avrabach. The Japanese certainly came with the tactics, but I'm not sure that tactics is going to be enough today. I'm just, I'm just keeping it straight. But I do think these Japanese are going to qualify from this group. I believe so. The most I think they're going to get from this game is a draw. That's the most I think they can get from this game. A draw. But if they draw this game, it's not a bad result. They can go on and win the 2 games left, but it's easier said than done. But I think they can do it. I think they can qualify from this group as a second team. They certainly have good players to do so. And obviously, the Japanese are trying to build up from the back. But that was not a good attempt. The Then you have a throw from the Japanese. I haven't seen this guy today. He's not even on the bench. Mitoma, the Brighton player. I think he's Japanese. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he's injured. Peru Mitoma, a good player. And there's something important about him, actually. This guy is not just playing soccer. He studied soccer. He went to school for soccer. And I remember he was kind of describing how to dribble. So this guy went to school to learn how to dribble. Most soccer players, they just learn from the coach. They learn from, you know, practicing in the field for many years. This guy did the same. He practiced on the field for many years, but also he went to school and learned how to dribble. He learned how to place your body, how to react to the body movement of your opponent so you can dribble past them. That's extraordinary. And obviously, he's not on the field today. I hope he's okay. And that's it. Virgil van Dijk. The ball is in the back of the net. Virgil van Dijk has made it 1-0 for the Netherlands. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, you could see it from afar. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. I guess this was bound to happen. You could smell it from afar. These guys, there's nothing wrong with that goal. I guess the Japanese coach was trying to place some complaint to the officials, but I don't think that's going to work. There is no offside in this game. I've been saying it, and I'll say it again. This is a mismatch. These two teams is a mismatch, especially when it comes to physicality. And that's exactly what we saw. Virgil van Dijk opens the score. Where you go? By his true and header goal. He used his head from a cross into the box. The Japanese are small players, and I knew they were going to concede a goal for being small. And that's exactly what happened. Virgil van Dijk is 6'5". Just imagine 6'5" with someone who is, I think the average height of the Japanese player is 5'7". Imagine a 6'5" person jumping with 5'7". It's a mismatch. Well, I think the Japanese can respond because I think they are much quicker on their feet more than the Netherlands. Obviously, when you're that big, you can't run that much, mostly. But when you are small, you have low center of gravity. You can run, you can dribble, just like Messi. That is one thing that makes Messi unique. Messi, have you ever seen a clip of Lionel Messi in which it was impossible for the defenders to take the ball away from him or to even make him fall to the ground? It's very difficult for you to see Messi on the ground because he has a low center of gravity, and so it's gonna take a lot for you to pull him down. And I think the Japanese player have the same attribute, so they better use it. They better use it now. This is the time to use it. We still have few minutes to go, so there's an opportunity for them to use it. There's still time. And it's 1-0, Virgil van Dijk. If you're a Liverpool fan, you must be happy by now. You must be happy because your player is cold. We're in the 55th minute now, and the Netherlands are looking for their second goal. Marlin, half of Somerville. Oh no. The Netherlands are certainly not satisfied with the single goal. They're looking for another one. And that was close. The Japanese are also trying to make sure they can get back into this game. Oh no, that is extraordinary from Japan. Oh my, this is so extraordinary. I can't believe my eyes here. I can't believe my eyes here. Oh no, this is so good. That goal was so good. Oh my. This nation, you just love them. Even though they're not the tallest, but they never allow themselves to attain to the ground. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. I hope there is no contact. They're probably going to check it to see if Oh, they're gonna check to see if there's an offside there. I don't think there's a problem with the goal, but the officials might check to see. I don't think there's a problem. That's a goal. That's an extraordinary goal. Yeah, no check. There was a complaint, but apparently the complaint didn't deserve a check. I'm able to fix. I was able to fix the something manually, but the goal is to get it fixed automatically. But that was a good goal. Let's be honest. That was good. And then the Netherlands now, Dumfries. Dumfries has the ability to be able to throw a long throw into the box, and that's exactly what he did. Another chance, but that was intercepted by the Japanese. Dumfries into the box. It was probably, was that a foul draw? Oh no. Okay. It's just another chance for Dumfries to throw the goal again. That's one of the best right back in the world. Dumfries. He plays for Inter Milan in Italy. That's a corner kick again for the Netherlands. So now there's another opportunity for the tall guys to get the ball in the back of the net. The Japanese have to do everything possible to make sure that they can nullify these tactics from the Netherlands, because you can't keep conceding from the corners. You can't rely that you're gonna score, equalize. No, and they did well. The Japanese, that's exactly what they like to do. Oh no, the Japanese are off. That's a yellow card. When the It's kind of impressive how the Japanese are able to transition from back to front very quickly. That reminds me of PSG, Luis Enrique's team. That's one thing they'd like to do a lot. They can transition from the back to the front in a twinkle of an eye. And that's exactly what the Japanese have been showing us since the beginning of this game. So if you are if you are if you are the team, if you pinned the Japanese team to their own box and you think you can go and relax, you're joking. Because they can just break off. If they intercept the ball and they get the ball from you, they can transition from the back to the front very quickly. And if they do that, they catch you off guard, you're in trouble. We're in the 61st minute. 1-1. Oh, the Japanese are certainly trying everything possible. They're trying to make sure they make this walk. Wow. That was the goal. Wow. The keeper couldn't do anything. And now the Japanese are now playing 5-4-1 as well. Wow. The Japanese, never, to me, they don't have that kind of, oh, that's a goal from Somerville. That's a goal from Somerville. Wow. And what makes this goal interesting is it's called the goal with his weak foot, his left foot. Oh man. I know Somerville's strong foot is his right foot, but for you to score from that distance with your weaker foot is extraordinary. Wow. Wow. Oh, let me check. Is Somerville right footed or left footed? I think he's left footed. He's right footed, sorry. Wow, that was a good goal. That was a good goal. That's a good goal. Wow, that was a good goal. It was a good goal. Somerville. And now the Japanese have to try and come back from this setback. We'll see if the Japanese have what it takes to come back from adversity. This is their moment to show they can come back from wherever is trying to pull them down. But I do believe the Japanese can do it. I also believe my predictions are just going to come to pass. This is going to be a win for the Netherlands. And then the Japanese are going to go on to win the two games they have left and qualify for the knockout stages. Now they have to show that they can withstand adversity. The Japanese are trying everything on the Netherlands. And now it's a Troy to the Netherlands. I'm sorry, please bear with me for today. I have the features, they're not proper. Oh no, Hakpo! Oh my. There is one thing you should never allow Cody Hakpo to do. Never allow Cody Hakpo to cut inside. That's exactly. If you give Cody Hakpo the ball in the wings 20 out of 21 times, Cody Hackbo is going to cut him. So you, as a defender, should expect. Oh, I don't think he's happy. The Japanese, most of the exhibition game they played, it's a long one again. The Japanese are trying to strike the ball from long distance to see if they can catch the goalkeeper of the Dutch unawares. I think that's one of the tactics they're using. Now I think it's time for hydration again. It's time to drink some, to have some drinks. Is Messi even playing in this tournament? I'm just looking at him in an advertisement right now. Well, Argentina hasn't played, so we'll see. Well, I'm not sure. He might be injured. I'm not sure about that. Still trying hydration break. To be honest with you, the Japanese they've not played a bad game. Saints. They've not. I think they just came across a team that's stronger than them. They've not been bad. No, they just came across a team that is stronger than them. That's all. And there's nothing bad about that. They just have to make sure that they win the next two games. That's going to be very important. Now you have another opportunity for Japan to pull the ball in the box. Let's see if they can take it. Oh no. Oh no. That's a goal. Wow. 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 Interesting. You know something? You should never There's a saying that they used to say in soccer when I was young. Says it's not over until it is over. Japanese is called an eda. Wow. The Japanese call an eda goal. Incredible. Wow. The short man is called the goal of a tall man. And this is the 89th minute. What a shame for the Netherlands. I'm sorry, but if you're that tall, you should never allow, you know, should never allow that kind of goal. And now I think this game is gonna end this way because you should never you should never allow that goal to go in. No. But here we go. That's the game of soccer for you. It is not over until it is over. It is not over until it is over. It's 2-2. We have how many minutes to go? We're gonna see the added time now. We have 6 minutes at a time. Oh, that's a, oh no, that's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. If you pull someone down that way, you're gonna get a yellow card for it. It's interesting how the 6 minutes to because so I'm sorry I couldn't fix this thing today. We'll try and see what we can do, get it fixed, make sure everything is working before the next game tomorrow. Can the Netherlands respond? I'm phrase. A chance to pull the ball in the box. That was a good ball. It's true now. Who's gonna believe that the Japanese was gonna score with their head? Incredible. We still have a few minutes to the end of the game. I think it's safe to say now that the game is probably going to end in a tie. The Netherlands are trying to see if they can have the last chance, but I think they are also very cautious of not conceding a goal as well. So they're probably trying to Somerville one last chance. And I probably think that's the end of the game. But the referee's probably going to blow any seconds, a few seconds from now. That's the end of the game. And referee is going to blow. That's the end of the game. It's a tie between Japan and Netherlands, and that's a good game from the Japanese. They work so hard. It's true now. I Well, we never expected that, but that's okay. Thank you very much for the time we spent together. I will try as much as possible to fix this, to fix all the data on the screen, so that next time we can have all the live updates and everything can be okay. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna update uh the game. We're gonna be live streaming tomorrow.